Welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour, your source for all hard rock, heavy metal, new metal, alternative, punk, horror punk, hardcore, rock, and all local bands, with your host, John the Bod, a.k.a. the Bodfather.
This is Ryan Osborne, lead vocalist of Silence and Stars, and you are listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
The views and opinions of the guest do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of BODS Mayhem Radio Network, its staff, affiliates, or sponsors. Parental discretion is advised. Welcome to BODS Mayhem Radio Network.
Hey everybody, welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour. I'm your host, John the Bod, a.k.a. the Bodfather. As always, I'm bringing you guys awesome interviews. Today, it's an honor and a privilege to welcome back Mr. Ryan Osborne. He is the lead vocalist of Silence in the Stars. They hail from Wise in Dickinson County, Virginia. So Silence in the Stars have released their Believe EP, available now. Believe is the follow-up to the self-titled EP, Silence in the Stars. So we'll be talking to Ryan about this and what all is new, what all is going on. Man, welcome back to the show. How you been?
Hey, I've been great, man. Thank you for having me back on.
So you've got a new EP that's out right now. What's impressed or excited you the most about making the new EP, Believe? What's caught your eye about it the most, if anything, when you were working on it?
When we went to record Believe at first, it wasn't quite what the finished product wasn't quite what we intended to begin with. We were going to do an acoustic-y sounding EP, and then we decided to kind of go a different direction with that, make it, rock it up a bunch, as we did with the first EP, because originally it wasn't going to be a Silence in the Stars EP, but it ended up being that way. So we recorded in the fall, and our idea was to capture that mood and put it into an album, which we did in our Believe EP. I think we captured that feeling quite well.
Any song standing out more to you than any right now, if possible, on the EP? I know it must change every time you listen to it. I mean, I know this is like trying to pick your favorite child or your favorite collectible, but is there any that stand out for you, Ryan?
Yes, the last song on the album is Down. We started from scratch because I had written a song. It was one of the very first songs I had actually written, and lyrically one of the more personal songs I had ever written. And we started playing it, in front of John, which is our producer, and then some bandmates from the band Mirrored Image, which they got their album coming out, which I'm super excited about. But anyway, their singer Dylan, he heard us playing it, and he just had a crazy idea for the song, and we just kind of ran with it, and we just kept adding to it, and it came out to be, I think, the most well-produced and my favorite sounding track of the whole album, and just what it means from a lyrical standpoint. For me, I just think it turned out amazing.
What do you hope everyone takes away from this new EP, Ryan, or message you hope they hear while listening to it, or just any of Silence in the Stars music in general?
All of our music's really down to earth. It deals with a lot of human emotion, and I'm hoping whatever anybody's going through, they can take and derive it, a good message from it lyrically. And from an emotional standpoint, I hope it gets them through whatever they're going through. I think that's, my biggest goal as an artist is just to touch, one person at a time. That's always been our goal, and it will continue to be our goal, moving forward. I hope everybody enjoys the EP. But yeah, just the main thing, especially with Believe, is just whatever you're going through, it gets better.
What about the artwork? Who did the artwork or design on this EP for you guys?
Oh yeah, there was a few people that went into it. Becky Leonard, she took the photographs for the EP, and I knew at the time I knew she was into photography, so I stalked her photography page on Facebook, and I found a few images I really liked, and I just asked her flat out. I was like, "Could I have these?" And she was like, "Yeah, go for it." Yeah, I just like, "Could I have these?" So I took them. I went with it. I messaged a good friend of mine, August Aguilera, who works with the El Burrito blog and does our music videos and things like that. We just kind of messed around with it a little bit, and then we come up with just the standard, the Silence and Stars over the water there. And then we were trying to figure out where to put the song, not the song, but the album name, Believe, on the album. He stuck it right there under the logo on the bottom right there, I believe, and it just turned out looking cool, and we rolled with it.
Yeah, I always like to give a little shout out to the artists and who work on this, because it's like I've said in all these interviews, man, it's hard to get exactly what you're looking for, and it's hard to get exactly a design that you're wanting to do. So that kudos to those folks.
Oh yeah, no, I'm really happy with the finished product, everything. Like I said, and it captures the emotion of the album, I believe.
All right, so Mr. John Chaney produced this EP as well, and you've worked with him on the self-titled one. Working with him, man, does he get that extra effort out of you during the recording and writing sessions, possibly?
Oh yeah, he's a professional. He's always been a professional. He's one of the best. I honestly think he is the best in our area. And, when you consider everything that goes into it, just his personal touch to each one of our songs and albums. And we'll probably continue working with John until we are dead. I mean, John's just that good. And I think, and it's been amazing being around John and seeing him grow as a producer and as a sound engineer, because just to jump from our first album to this album, you can tell he's even improved. And once he gets rolling, I think he's going to be unstoppable. And it's really cool to be working with him, and I hope to continue to do so for many years. But yeah, he definitely gets that extra edge. He has a lot of great ideas. He's a music lover, and you can definitely tell that. And he's a very close friend of ours.
Yeah, I'm anxious to hear Mirrored Images' new album too. So he's worked on both of these, your album or your EPs, and now Mirrored Images albums. And I don't know who else he's worked with, but I'm telling you guys out there right now, if you need somebody around here locally or out and about, whatever, you listen to these interviews of BODS Mayhem Hour, hit up John Chaney, man. He will do you right. He's very, very excellent at what he does. Ryan just told you he's grew with Ryan on this, so that's cool when you can actually see and hear that come together.
Oh yeah, John's incredible, and I actually have heard the new Mirrored Image EP, and I gotta say it is incredible. It is amazing. I think everybody out there, when that comes out, I think that's gonna make some waves around here, because he did amazing work on that as well.
I hope so, because, I mean, the locals around here, they still fight. I mean, you've got Mirrored Image, and plus Downtrend. Those guys are still fighting to get out there. And it's just so hard. You know it just as well as I do. It's so damn hard around here to get anything going, to even stay established, and then it just goes away. It's just so hard.
Yeah, it's one of those things, man, that around this area, and this isn't a shot at this area, because, I love living here, and it's a very peaceful place to live. But as far as music goes, very close-minded, I would say.
Yep.
It seems like musically this area has got stuck in a time warp, and it's been in a time warp for the last 100 years, and I don't think it has any intention of ever getting out of it. So until the locals start pushing this, not only Silence the Stars, but Mirrored Image and whoever else may venture outside of the typical country music, bluegrass music, whatever, until people get behind that, it's just stuck unless it can get out into the right ears. But I mean, you have to have that local push to begin with, and I mean, not to sound I guess bad about it, but I mean, it seems like unless it's honky tonk, man, nobody gives a fuck. I mean, that's just the truth of it.
How much growth musically have you seen this band and yourself go through up to the release of this new EP, or has it just been more of a personal growth for you and your band members?
Well, we've changed a few band members. We went on a short break, and we switched out our old drummer, JT Mullins. He's went back to guitar, which is where he was at originally. We kept our bass player, and we have a new drummer now, and his name's Lakota Mullins. We've had a few other guitar players try out. Hasn't worked out so far. We have another guy coming soon, and I'm hoping that works pretty well. But as far as personal growth within the band, especially with JT, because he's been with me through it all. He true professional. He's my best friend in the entire world. He's just an all-around great person first. I must say that before I say anything about his musical ability. But musically, he's a pro. He serves the band. He does whatever he has to do. I mean, he's told me a million times if he has to play guitar, he's the guitar player. If he has to drum, he's the drummer. If he has to play bass, he's the bassist. It's just, I mean, he's just a good guy. He really, really wants to see this succeed just as bad as anybody else in the band does. So, I mean, as far as him, because he's been the one consistent I've had in the band, I can't say enough good things about the guy.
I know these are two entities when it comes to working on an album, but do you do anything differently, Ryan, during the writing and recording process to help keep your mind fresh and open to not let the music get stale or boring? Do you do anything differently possibly?
I wouldn't say that anything's really changed differently. I think the biggest thing with my music that has changed with my writing process is that I guess just me as a person, I'm not as angry as I once was. I'm not as, I guess, tense as I once was. So my music's a lot more, it has a little bit of more of a laid-back feel to it, I guess. Because, the first EP is more so about that teenage angst that you carry and the anger that every rebellious teen has, and that's kind of where that was derived from. But Believe, I think if anything, it just shows how I matured as a person.
What can fans expect at a show from Silence in the Stars who have not got to see you guys live as of yet? What are they going to get?
You're going to get high energy. You're going to have a great time. It's, whether we're performing in front of 100 people or performing in front of 3 people, you're going to get the same show. We love doing it. We'll be back. We have a show on 420, which that's kind of a little private event that we're hosting. But as far as a show that's open to general public, we play in Summit City. That's in Whitesburg, Kentucky. We play there in May, and it's going to be a killer time. We really look forward to it.
We're living in the digital era of recording albums to get music out quicker, and plus now we got social media to reach out to more folks. Do you like this that we're living in right now, to get albums out quicker, and plus social media to reach out to more folks who have not got to hear Silence in the Stars as of yet?
Yeah, it's definitely an advantage as far as getting it out there, and because we're all so connected in today's world. I would say the only disadvantage is, and I wouldn't even classify it as a disadvantage. I'm just old school because I'm still a guy. I collect records. I still buy CDs. I don't know. I guess I just miss the simplicity of going to a record store, which those are about obsolete. But just picking up your favorite record or just a new record and just that feeling, I think that's the only thing that I miss personally from it. But as far as the digital music goes, I think it's good and bad. Like I said, good in a way that you're able to get your music out there quick and into many hands. Like we've been played twice in the UK, so I couldn't say that we would be able to accomplish that 40, 50 years ago, especially being a local band. But we were discovered by a British radio station.
Yeah, sure.
That played our music. So I mean that was pretty badass. So
here's something that I wish that locals would do a lot more is to maybe stream a live show that they're doing, put it out there.
We did that a few times. I guess the biggest problem for us with that is we had a lot of audio issues.
Oh, okay.
Because but then again, when we did that, it was kind of the early stages of the Facebook Live thing and all that. So it'd be cool to try again, but that was in the very early stages of when all that started. So it would be interesting to give it a try again. But originally, there was a lot of audio issues, a lot of clipping, a lot of cutting out. It's just it wasn't the quality that I would have hoped for. But then again, technology, it's crazy the leaps that technology makes just year to year.
What does Silence in the Stars bring to the table for music that's not out there as of right now, Ryan? I mean, I know no one's reinventing the wheel. They're adding new stuff, but what does Silence in the Stars bring to the table, if anything?
I think a lot of music today lacks a lot of substance, a lot of true meaning. You have, and this isn't a shot at any genre or anything, because everybody has their own thing. Everybody likes their own thing. I'm not shooting at that, so to say, but you have 20 people writing one song, and then it absolutely says nothing. Like the song means nothing. It's very shallow meaning with it. But I would say what Silence in the Stars really brings to the table is just that old school vibe, that old school emotion. Because we really put our emotions into our music, and it shows. And I think anybody looking to feel something, Silence in the Stars is definitely something you should listen to.
How much local support does Silence in the Stars get via venues and maybe a little bit of airplay, if any, possibly? I know I'm from around here as well, but what about you guys? Do you get any local support or anything at all?
Well, what's crazy, man, I mean, I guess it's not too far-fetched to believe based on what we said previous in this conversation, but we have much more success out of this area. Like, whenever we went to play out of this area, whenever our stuff, our music's been, like I said, we've been played in the UK, and we've traveled to Detroit, Michigan. We've played in Cleveland, Ohio. We've played in Bowling Green, Ohio. So we've got out a little bit, and every time we've left this area is when we do the best. I'll just be straight up. Around here, man, there's not an alternative rock or hard rock scene. It just does not exist. It just for real does not exist. Mm-hmm. So locally, I would be real. Not a lot of support outside of here. That's when it gets better.
So when you found out that you were picked up in the UK, how shocked were you guys? And is there any other countries that may have shocked you that you guys get support from possibly?
The UK has really been the only, because there was a gentleman that personally reached out to us because he bought our first EP on iTunes, which I was thinking in my head, like, how did he even find it? Us being small, local band in Southwest Virginia. And I was just like, man, I wonder how he even found it. But then he played it. And then when we released Believe, where I had the guy's direct contact, I just messaged him. I sent him the EP, and he really liked the song The Monster on there, and he played that on there yesterday, ironically. So
that's awesome, man.
Yeah,
that is cool. Coming from Virginia, folks, and getting out to the United Kingdom, that's pretty badass in my book.
Yeah, no, it's definitely cool. Like he's a great guy. His name's Simon. I can't remember his last name right off the bat because he just works for that radio station. But yeah, it's awesome. He sends me the links to listen to his broadcast after it's done, and he always gives us a good shout out. He has promoted our events on his station before, which is really cool. But as far as any other country, I'm not so sure. There's one of the more crazier things that I saw one time was there was a girl I worked with, and she said, I found your band's music, and she had this this everybody has this free music download site, thing where they just download free music. It's just a thing today.
Right.
But and what I found interesting is somebody took the time to pirate our music, took the time to take our music and upload it onto another server, which is kind of nuts to me. I mean, it's cool in a way that somebody thinks enough of it to want to steal it, but then it's like, it hurts your pocket because nobody's buying it. But I mean, it's still pretty cool.
Folks, you want to get out and check out Silence in the Stars. I've supported this band since day one that I've had Ryan on here. So get out and check this band out. Get their new EP called Believe. Check out their self-titled EP as well. Ryan, as always, how can folks stay in touch with you guys? Buy these EPs, tour dates when you go on tour, things like that. How can they do that, my man?
Just follow us on Facebook. We're working on getting us some new merch as of right now. I'd say in the next, month, we're going to have T-shirts and things like that. And we plan on releasing some physical copies of the Believe EP. Once again, where everything's such a digital era, we're kind of been reluctant towards releasing physical copies of that. But as far as T-shirts and things like that, we definitely like to get that stuff out within the next month or so. All of our events are posted on Facebook. We have a few things lined up that you all can check out. But Facebook's kind of our main thing. We do some stuff on Instagram, but we do need to do some work on the YouTube, which that's going to get fired up soon as well because we're going to shoot a new music video soon. So there's tons of more content coming your way.
Before I let you go, good sir, would you care to do a promo for my show?
Well, hell yeah. This is Ryan Osborne, lead vocalist of Silence and Stars, and you are listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Everybody stick around. We got some great stuff coming up, and you only hear these interviews right here on BODS Mayhem Hour and BODS Mayhem Radio Network. Get out and check out our Facebook page. It has our podcast link, plus it has our YouTube link, and very soon a Twitch link. Also, get out and check out Silence in the Stars. Pick up the new EP, Believe. Pick up the old self-titled EP as well, and you will not be disappointed in these guys. Ryan, as always, man, you got support here, and just keep chugging along, my friend.
Hey, thanks, man. It was good talking to you, bud.
You're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.